YouTube and welcome to KangBrosTV. Liverpool 5, Porto 0. Happy Valentine's Day to Porto. You got a nice little beat at the end of it. Nice solid 5 strokes. Boy, I'm gassed. What a game. I'm so happy. What do you think of the overall performance?
Nuts. That was nuts. Today, listen, I'm the pessimist out of the two of us. And don't worry, there's still a few points, but I'm a pessimist normally. But that today is a severe beating, and that is what that's like who's it? It's just sexy football. Who said that back in the day? Ruud Gullit, wasn't it?
I don't know, man.
Oh, bruh, that was nuts. Very happy.
You know what? Before this game, there was a subscriber called Aaron. He's probably watching. He said to me, he goes, I told him, babe, I said, look, I don't actually know what Porto are about, so don't follow the Portuguese league that tough. He goes, they're possibly the Man City of Portugal. He got me shook. I was like, what? I was like, all right. So I'm there, scared and that, at the beginning of the game, nervous, and as you do, the music starts and that, get very happy. And then, boy, I think the thing is, they let us play. You know what? When we started...
No, they didn't.
Nah, come on, man.
They didn't. Listen, but the game started.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, and I don't know about anybody else watching that game, but when the game started, I was a bit like, oi, these are fresh. They were fresh. They were coming at us. My pessimistic side will come out, and this is the one thing I made a point about saying previously as well, is that the way they started, any decent team, there's a chance that they got when we got a block in and it went over the bar. That chance, a good side, a top striker. Let's just say if it's the other way around, Liverpool had that chance, you'd back them to score that, right? In the position they got themselves into. If they go 1-0 up and they had the chances to do that quite early on, different game. Then they just sit back and say, all right, come. So I don't think it's, listen, as much as we've battered them, and it's a little bit slightly reminiscent of, not the quality of opponent, but reminiscent of when Liverpool played Swansea at Anfield. They got the early goal and the game changed. Yeah, the game then changed, but they got the early goal. And against this team here, against Porto, I said to you as well, I said, when we were under the cosh, at the beginning, we were like this, bro. Do you know what I mean? Because it was a bit, hard to watch at the beginning, but we weathered the storm, and I think that's the signs of a good side. It's the Champions League. It's no mess about games, no mess about teams. So
before we started though, you was a bit unsure about the formation. I was happy with it because I felt like we got Hendo, Milner in there, and I thought, you know what, that's going to be very solid. And then you had Gini in the mix as well, but you was a bit unsure, wasn't you, at the beginning?
I just thought that with that formation, it kind of suggests to me that we're looking to miss out the midfield. So you've got 3 guys in there who are known for being workhorses and ratting. So that would suggest to me that, okay, so what you're trying to do is you're trying to keep the back, keep everything firm back here, rat in the midfield, don't let them play, and then obviously look for balls in behind. That's what I read into it straight away.
Yeah.
I don't mind that if that's your formation, but I think the way that they set up as well, they let us have the ball. They had the player, and then it was a bit of a 3-quarter press. As soon as we got 3 quarters, boom, then they went and engaged us. So I don't know, I wasn't too comfortable with it. But with that said, the 2 players that stood out for me personally, obviously the front 3 goes without saying. But let's talk about problem areas. I thought the 2 lads in midfield, I thought Wijnaldum today he was unbelievable. And if there's anybody out there, because I know there's a few people that are
call him the ghost. They're still calling him the ghost. There's your ghost for you right there. Boo. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. He
worked. Honestly, his work rate, ratting, getting the ball, and he had a bit of quality today to find feet. One of the goals came from him.
For Mane's goal, first goal, that was him.
So I think he was top draw today. I thought.
Yeah. Do you reckon it because he had the license to do that though? Because obviously Milner and Hendo was in the back. Do you reckon that's what affected his performance, or you?
Nah. There's 2 ways looking at it. I think he worked just as hard as those 2.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think it's like saying that he had the freedom to do that. But equally, that should say to Klopp then, right? Well, let's be honest. When you've got people around him that rat, he's even better. So maybe it's worth. This is the one thing I will say, and I know it must feel like to everybody that watches us that I always get on his back. He wasn't even playing today, but did anyone notice that Emre Can weren't there today? Honestly, because I didn't. I was actually in there and I thought James Milner, although he's a bit, he's probably just he hasn't got the pace, but he's quick in thought. The way he knew what he wanted to do: break up, play, pass the ball, turn them, get the ball to feet, come short. Now as soon as you lay it back to you, let's turn them the other way. So I thought he's quick in mind, and midfielders today, I thought they were really good.
What about Milner's assist? That little one he took back.
Yeah.
Oh my good God.
That composure, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you and me were playing, we'd probably whip that across, innit? If you would have just whipped it across. To actually, the way he just held up the ball and just, he sort of lifted it as well, didn't he, a little bit?
But yeah, again, I think it topped off a top performance for him.
Yeah, it was for man. We've been saying it for the last 3 weeks now. There's people out there who doubt Milner, which is just, for me, is crazy now. Like, he's literally come out of his own and shown why he is that player and we bought him in. To have that person, like you said, in the middle, and he's been there, done it kind of thing, right? And you can see it in his performance.
But again, I'll go back to the point, and I will put this out to people who are pro Emre Can. Did you miss him today? Even if you were his biggest fan, did you miss him today? And you can't put it down to the opponent, because Liverpool didn't dare to weather a storm, and he was the one who helped weather the storm. His break-up play, the way he transitioned. So my point is, I'm not saying that he's a long-term answer, but if you've got Naby Keita coming in next year, plus one other, is Emre Can that much of a loss to you? That's my question. That's what I posted. What do you think?
I ain't gonna say nothing about Emre in this video, because the fact that he wasn't playing, I'm just gonna leave him out. Okay, so I'll just leave him alone.
Yeah, being a bonnet, I guess.
Yeah. So next guy is Mane. Now, before the goal, we were actually slating him. You know, we were slating him, thinking, "What is he doing?"
That I was the one doing it.
Bro, his decision making before the goal, we was like, "What is this guy playing at? Why is he drugged up still?"
Yeah, but
sorry to cut you there, but for me, like, you can't say anything. The guy's got 3 goals and an assist, I think, right?
Yeah.
And you can't. How can you anything against him?
So what I'll say is, and because I was at half time, we were talking about this. Do you know what it is? It's everyone's seen it in the past few weeks. Everyone's seen it over the course of the season up to this point. Is that he looks a player low on confidence. He looks like somebody that feels like he's in the shadow of other people. Today, the game was broken up into 2 halves of him. In the first half, it still showed that person that was slightly low on confidence. The goals that he did score were goals that were tap-ins. But there was a couple of decisions that he made which were the wrong ones. When he should have sent it across the goal to Gini, and that wasn't just him. There was a few other people that did the same thing. But in the second half, he got the goals. He got he had a bit of a spring in his step, and that's the Mane of old. The work rate, the quality, the taking the shot on, beating people, drawing fouls, setting up the goal. The guy was pulling him back, and he's still going on. I think it was a game of 2 halves for him personally, because the first half was still shades that person showing signs of a bit of lack of confidence. Still, the decision making is a bit fuzzy. Second half, I thought it was a guy that's picked up his confidence, scored, and boom. You know what I mean?
I totally agree with you. You know when that the goal I think it was Firmino's goal. Yeah, the one that Milner pulled back. The guy was getting pulled left, right, centre. That's the Mane of old. Literally just fighting off people and going straight out direct. Yeah. And I think Gerard touched on it earlier. The front 3 at the moment is just the blend they've got between them is just crazy. Yeah. And it was clear to see today again, like, Porto didn't know what to do. When the counter-attack, they didn't know who to mark, where to run, and we as fans were just going, "Oh, it's going to be another goal, it's going to be another goal."
The one thing I will say is, in the first half, again, it was in the 43rd minute, or something like that, 43rd minute.
Yeah.
They got a chance, right, that came from nothing. It was just from nothing, right? And again, the pessimist in me will always be there, is that we saw the highlights of the Real Madrid game and PSG. Woof, that looked like there was some nuts football in that game. But you give someone like PSG or Real Madrid the opportunity that Liverpool gave them at Porto today in the 43rd minute, just for half time when you're 2-0 up, and it came from nothing. It came from Karius having the ball, and it was too comfortable. And he got a bit arrogant, and he just tried to hit across the ball to Trenty, who was a bit further up the pitch, over his head. Trent's jumped and got it off the back of his hand, and that's a trigger of them getting a chance. And it came from nothing when we're in complete control. So the pessimist to me would be game management again. It was good on the whole. 90% of the time it was spot on, and it was really good to see that today. You're away from home in a Champions League fixture. We managed the game well.
But was the game management really good, or were Porto really shit? I think that's what I was thinking in my head. I was thinking
again, but that you make the opposition look good, look so shit when you manage the game. Yeah. You've seen it when people do it to Liverpool. Liverpool don't look the Liverpool of old. They don't look the Liverpool. I say old, but Liverpool of week in week out. Yeah. Because people are taking a sting out of the game. They're not letting them play. They're not letting them get the free flowing football. Obviously, Porto are known for doing that. Look at where they started the game. They started really fresh. Game management doesn't allow you people to get into the game, and that's the whole point of it. It saps your flow and rhythm and stuff like that.
Because that's what annoyed me. You know, like McManaman, he was saying, "Oh, it shouldn't really be this easy at this level." He's just taking everything away from Liverpool. Liverpool worked very hard for that game to get to where it was, and that's why it just annoyed me a little bit. So basically, when Man City smashed 4 past Basel, it's it's expected. Suddenly, when Liverpool do it, it's a bit like, oh, Porto was shit and just letting them do it. And I think that was a bit harsh because people worked hard. Even Mane said, even though it was 5-0, because it was a tough game. And the other thing was is the subs again.
Yeah,
I'm not touching that a little bit.
Yeah,
we looked at each other again, thinking we're like 4-0, 5-0 up at the moment, and then the subs come on, and I'm thinking
Porto have made 3 subs and Liverpool have made 1, and you're just like, come on, man.
And then Matip, do you think was that just trial and error? Do you reckon he's just trying something different?
I think so. I think it was a case of trying something different, and it did allow, from what I noticed anyway, it allowed VVD to get on the ball a bit more, didn't it? And drive out with the ball. And I think that's something that they're trying.
Yeah.
But I guess equally, if you're Klopp and you're Liverpool, you're probably thinking to yourself, we're away from home, we're 4-0 up or 5-0 up, wherever it was at the time. You're thinking, right, let's shut up shop and make sure we don't chip a goal. And a clean sheet would do wonders for this side. So I don't know. I can potentially see why. But if there's someone like, if you've got someone like Solanke or Ings and those sort of guys who could really do with that experience in the minutes, I'd say it would have been worth getting them on. I at the moment I can't really get my head around Klopp subs. I just think they're a little bit. Sometimes they're a bit weird, and sometimes I'm a bit like I don't see where the logic is behind the substitutions. But that's fine. But just one player that I was, I'm a big fan of it. Everyone knows this already. But I thought Firmino today was just.
If people are slowly recognising it now, I'm hearing people now. People like Rio, Gerrard, and all these dudes here suddenly saying that without Firmino, Liverpool are nothing. We've been saying that for a long time, and I think other fans have as well. And I think he was under the shadow of Coutinho and all this kind of stuff, and now it's coming right to the forefront. Now this guy literally makes Liverpool click. All these people that go out and say Liverpool need an out-and-out striker, this is exactly the reason why counter-argument that Klopp's got is that Firmino is his guy. He's his guy. Everything starts from Firmino most of the time.
It's the way he can make. People use target men to make the ball stick, get the ball up, stick, play from him. I think he's got from what we've seen and what he's proved this season is that he can do that. He can actually make the ball stick, and he can bring other people into the game. And I think there was a point today where I always moaned about it, but he did like a first time flick, and then it's set up one of our goals. Yeah, okay, it's good when it comes off, but it's frustrating when it doesn't come off. But he flicked today. And as soon as he flicked that ball, there was 3 boof, 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 boof running past him. So that's him and 3 others. And I think to myself, that sort of thing. You've got a player in there who can get a goal, who's got that guile to beat a man. You target man, your finisher, your link-up player. So that's why it's difficult to replace him. And although there's probably better number 9s out there in the world, I'm not denying that. There are better number 9s out there, and fact there are better number 10s out there. And fact, there are better number 11s and number 12s. Like the wing, the wide forwards or whatever. What number 7s? But what you don't get is someone like him who has bits of a number 9, has bits of a number 10, has bits of a number 8. Do you know what I mean? I think he's a breath of fresh air, and he just seems to keep going and going and going. And again, another top performance from him today as well.
My man Mohamed Salah is literally taking the piss. He's literally taking the piss. He was doing juggling. He was juggling with the ball himself. That composure. To do that. That's just nuts at this level.
My only problem with it is that some Madrid, they're going to be like, yo, Mo, we want him. We want him. So I mean,
the goal itself is just nuts, though, isn't it?
It's an unbelievable goal. Milner, again, that you take nothing away from Milner and winning the ball back and getting the shot off. Absolutely unbelievable finish. There's not enough words to describe how good that front three were today. And I just think, he's showing new levels to his game, and it's really good to see.
Quick shout out to the defence and Karius involved in the defence, Lovren and VVD. Now, when we bought VVD, we was literally laughing, saying, Lovren, see you later. This is it for you, basically. And we were big fans of Matip. Matip made this one dumb clearance. I don't know what he was doing. It went backwards to the keeper, and Karius had to head it out and stuff. But Lovren and VVD are beginning to look like an amazing partnership. Is that me or what?
No, you're right. Do you know? I've been thinking about this for the last couple of weeks. Right, when Lovren was at Southampton, he was very good. I think he was playing alongside Jose Font. Right, and Font is obviously he's one of those vocal, instructors. Do this, do that, do this, do that. Now I'm thinking to myself, when Liverpool bought him, he was playing alongside Font, and everyone thought Lovren was the leader, and I don't think he was. I think Font was the guy that was making things happen. Right, now I'm looking at us Liverpool fans, and listen, I'm guilty for this, and I'm at the moment starting to feel like I was wrong. But we thought Matip was brilliant, right? But maybe it's because we were so thirsty for a defender. We had someone who was half decent, and we thought he's so good because he was only half decent. Now we've got a proper defender in who is a proper defender, and for a few weeks into his new club, he looks a player, and I think he's doing a job that Font did with Lovren, talking to him, telling him what to do. Go and win a tackle. Get your ass back in here. Where are you going? Don't go there. So it is. You know what I mean? He was doing that, and I think to myself, hold on a minute. Maybe that's why we paid that money for Lovren. Maybe that's why he got to levels he did, because he's not a leader. He needs someone next to him. He's like listen to anyone that listens to this. I'm not saying this is exactly what it is, but
be careful now.
Rio and Vidic worked very well because Rio spoke to Vidic a lot and let Vidic to go and defend.
And Vidic did some mad shit sometimes.
That's it. He did mad shit. When he was trying to lead the defence, remember when Torres pulled his pants down over and over again? And it's happened to Lovren far too frequently, but it's happened to Lovren. And maybe you need that leader next to him, and we might be having it now. And maybe it's because we were so thirsty for a defender that when Matip walked in and he looked like half a defender, we thought, oh yeah, we've cracked it.
Yeah, I mean, our little cousin, he obviously watches this as well. He's saying he hates Matip. Now, we don't hate Matip, and I still want to see more, see where it goes. But he's thinking that, he said from day that Matip wasn't good enough. So I'm going to give him a shout out because he always thinks that we have a go about the whole Matip thing. But I'm just saying, at the moment, the way it's going, they're doing very good with each other as a partnership at the moment. We rate Matip highly as a defender, but he has been doing some wacky things lately. But, everyone's allowed their little blips here and there.
And defenders are no different. They love to have game time. They need to keep playing. When you're outside, it's different.
Exactly. And the thing is, we cannot leave these guys out if we talk about defence. My man Robbo and Arnie.
Yeah.
Wow.
The thing is, everyone seems to forget that it was Thingy's first game today, Champions League debut, Robbo's Champions League debut.
They made it in the game that he played against QPR or something last year.
No, it was Queen's Park in like the.
Oh shit! Sorry,
4 years ago I think it was.
No, was it? I think
it was because he was at Hull last year.
Okay, fair play. So it's like where he's come and the way he played was absolutely incredible. The guy has got serious engine on him. He literally just runs up and down, up and down. And I think one of our subscribers, Michael, he always talks about Robert getting the crossing and always turning back. Today, his crosses were bang on point. Even Klopp mentioned it. They said some of his crosses before, I don't know where they were going, to Scotland or something. So today he was proper on it. His crosses were perfect, and we had width in it today as well. It's not just everything direct. We had the crosses coming in, some really dangerous crosses coming from both sides. So massive shout out to them. So it was a great performance, I think, as from top to bottom. I think the worst thing is, what we were saying is, imagine adding Keita to this equation.
From what we've seen.
Yeah, from what we've seen. But from top to bottom, the team is slowly, but we've still got little areas to work on. But imagine adding Keita to this equation.
I love the fact that Klopp doesn't, we've mentioned it before, but Klopp won't just sign someone for signing them sake. If he's got a player in mind and that's the player that's going to improve my squad, that's what I want. He done it with Van Dijk. He had to kind of swallow his pride a bit. I think he paid a bit more than what he wanted to, but he knew that's the guy I wanted. Keita, he knew that, listen, I need this guy, I want this guy, we can't get him. Right, well, let's buy him now because his price will go up. Got his man, business is done, sorted. I think if he wanted a striker, he would have got one. He would have identified his target and he would have gone and got him. So I think I'm liking that from Klopp, and fair play. It's looked like it's slowly starting to turn around. Only thing is, I think quite a few people have come out and said this week that Klopp's got to start winning things because otherwise it's going to look. I mean, there's a pockets of Liverpool fans that don't like Klopp, and I would love to hear from you because I don't agree with you whatsoever, and I'd love to hear why that you don't think.
I'll be ready to slap them people.
Because it doesn't make any sense to me. Make me points, and I'm always willing to listen. But for me, I can't understand why you wouldn't want Klopp on your side. But yeah, happy.
And man of the match quickly to.
Well, obviously, again, the man of the match was obviously Mane. He scored a hat trick and he set up a goal. You can't argue with that. Fair play to him. For someone who's been getting a bit of stick, who even had a dodgy opening to the game, made a few dodgy decisions, but was in the right place, right time to get the goals. Third goal was, an absolute zing, and the assist as well. So he was brilliant. But I think if we're talking about someone who I felt influenced the game loads, who was very influential, Firmino was that guy, but Wijnaldum was brilliant today. I thought his tempo, his getting about people, his ratting from the front and going back, and the cover he did for the fullbacks, I thought he worked his socks off, and for me, he was my personal sort of man of the match, just as a performance.
So we got a rest period now, really. I think we're not playing this weekend, the FA Cup this weekend, so we got a nice little rest. I think our next game is possibly West Ham, I believe. So I'm going to sit back and can't wait to see United versus Seville, Chelsea versus Barca once your team's won, you can now sit back and relax and watch it. Even the second leg is going to be great to watch.
And I also, I don't usually say this, but shout out to Tottenham yesterday because that's a massive result, and it's good to see the English clubs waving the flag, and hopefully we'll have 5 teams in the. Well, actually Chelsea, I'm not too sure, so maybe 4 teams in the next round, because I think it was an unbelievable result yesterday, and it's good to see the Premier League and the clubs here doing the business. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't supporting them. I was actually cheering when Juventus scored, but I'm just saying it's good to see them waving the flag.
Yeah. We'll make our video for against West Ham, so let us know what you think about this game and all the other Champions League matches going on, and obviously subscribe, like and share. Peace.